This video will show you how to interact with the Tomcat installation in your Amazon instance. So there are two main directories that you should be aware of. The first one is where the script for starting and stopping Tomcat is located, and that happens to be inside etc init .d. And if you ls that directory and you grep for to, what you'll see is that there is a file called Tomcat 6. Now, if you just try to invoke that file, it will tell you that you need administrator privileges to do that. So we gain administrator privileges by using the keyword sudo and then typing the command. So if you type it without any arguments, it will tell you that you can use this command to start, stop, and mainly debug the setup. So to start it, you just type start, and it gets going. And after a short delay, you can then actually connect to Tomcat. So on the same machine, if you just go to localhost 8080, at this point actually this Tomcat is accessible from outside of EC2. So if you just go to the IP address where the instance is running and you point it to port 8080, that will also work as well. The various examples we saw in class are available at I guess port 8080 / EC E1779, and you can actually work and modify them. Now the other thing you can do is you can actually start Tomcat in debug mode using this file. So for that, we're going to initially stop Tomcat, and then we're going to restart it, but this time by specifying debug. And I'm going to show you how you can actually connect to it. And for that, we're going to use Eclipse. So we're going to start Eclipse, and this of course will take a few seconds while Eclipse is started. So by default, Eclipse now will actually come up with all the files in the EC project preloaded, so you can open them and explore those. So for instance, if we wanted to debug the hello world, one thing we could do is we could load that file. And in order to debug, the first thing we need to do is we need to actually connect Eclipse to Tomcat. And to do that, we click on the debug button, we go to debug configurations, and for the very first time we need to create configurations. So we choose remote Java application and we click on the new button. We give it a name, let's say Tomcat, and by default it has chosen already this project, so we don't need to do that. If you want to change it, you can. And all you need to do is click apply, and then you can either start debugging, or I'll show you what you typically do in normal cases, subsequent debug cases. So you can just close it, and from then on, when you click and you go to debug configurations, your file will be there, and you can just say debug. And if everything went well, on the debug tab, you should see that there are all these various threads. At that point, we can actually set up, let's say, a breakpoint in part of this file. Let's see, let me just choose, oops. So So I'm sorry, I was right clicking. So we set a breakpoint, and now when we navigate to Hello World, it traps into the debugger, right? And we can debug it um, step by step. When you're done debugging, you should disconnect your debugger. All right. The other directory that you should be aware of is a directory where all the applications are actually installed, and that happens to be in slash var lib Tomcat. And you see that all those directories are owned by the Tomcat users. So if we cd to web apps, you'll see that EC7079 has been installed there. And for your project, you can either modify the EC79 directory structure, or you can create a new one and create a brand new project. One of the easiest ways for creating a project is to start from an existing directory structure. So, for example, what I could do is I could replicate EC into a brand new directory structure. Oh, I need to be sudo to do that, and it created a brand new directory. I should probably, it's not a good idea to have code that belongs to the administrator, so we'll change the ownership to ubuntu, which is the default user you're using for this project. Oops. Oh, of course I need complaint because you're not all right. Once we've done that, you can actually import the new project into Eclipse. And to do that, you go to File, New, Java Project, and instead of creating it in the workspace, you tell it that you want to create it in some other directory, and you inform it to navigate to barlib, Tomcat, web apps. And I'm sorry, we click the project. At that point you can select it, and you can click on finish, and you've managed to successfully import a brand new project. And at that point, obviously, you can start working on it.